2 days. Darn it. I made my video and now I'm just stuck. I need to make a thumbnail. Really don't know how to make a thumbnail. If only there was like a tutorial or something. I really don't know. I need a Minecraft thumbnail. Go watch my video. Everyone do it. Maybe I can use someone else's thumbnail. That's a great idea. Alright, damn it, Aaron. What? Are you me? I'm totally not. Don't you see I have different glasses? That makes sense. Are you going to help me make a thumbnail? Yes, I am. Let's begin, shall we? Yeah. Can I have some iced tea? No, you can't. No, it's mine.
Alright, let's get this started. I can promise you after watching this tutorial, you will be able to make amazing thumbnails. There are 5 steps to this tutorial. 1. Getting a background. 2. Adding shadows and lighting. 3. Adding a border. 4. Adding your character. And 5. Adding text. So let's get started. Step 1 is the easiest. Just take a screenshot from your game or search for a background you like on the internet. You can just click and drag and there it is. If you don't like the size, you can just Ctrl and T and then click Alt and drag this, so you will keep the ratio, but you can then zoom in and out as much as you want. But I don't really mind this is good. Alright, step 2. We are going to add lighting and shadows. Ctrl Shift and make a new layer. Alright, just click enter and now click your brush tool. There it is. Our brush is set to white, so we'll first do the lighting. Make sure your hardness is at its minimum and your size is not too big. And say we want the focus to be around here. There we go. This is all you need to do for your lighting. If you think that's too bright, just double click right here and then your properties window will open. And you can drag the opacity meter here and lower it a bit. So I'll just do it like that. So there still is a little bit of lighting, but not too much. And that's literally all you need to do for the lighting. If you want to move it again, just press Ctrl and T and now you can move it around. But I want it there, that's good. Let's make another layer. Yes. And let's just change our color. So we had it in white, now put it in black. Okay. So let's get our brush again. If I just do this, brush around the corners, that's a bit too much. But if I do this for the corners, hop, 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 all corners done. All right. This is. Do you think it's too dark? I think it's too dark. Just double click again. You have your properties window, and personally, I'd say go somewhere between, somewhere in the middle. Not too low because you won't even notice it, but I like it like just under 50, 40, 30. I like it at that range. But it also depends on what picture you're editing. Well, that's step 2. Alright, step 3, adding a border. Create a new layer, press enter. Now hit select right here on top, then select all. Now everything is selected, so hit select again, go down to modify, modify border, and you can choose how thick you want the border to be. Let's just go with 45. We want a decent border. Alright, now we can go to edit, go down to fill, and make sure you have background color selected, normal, and then opacity is 100. And look at that, we have a black border now. Let's first click select again, deselect everything, so we now can see the border. If you want to change the color of the border, first thing I suggest to rename these if you think you get confused, but let's rename this border. I don't really generally touch these, but if you want you can rename those as well. But now we can change the color of the border by clicking color overlay. Now it's a blue color. blue border. I don't like that. Maybe I want a white border. I'm going to go back to black, I think, because I liked it at black. But this is how you do it. Ooh, the red also looks kind of cool. But I'm going with black anyway. Alright. And that's it for our border. If we want to add a disable it, just make it invisible. Visible again, invisible. This is the beauty of working with layers. We can just enable anything we don't want. We don't want the shadows. Bye-bye shadows. We think the lighting shouldn't be here. Okay, goodbye lighting. But you can use all of these assets for different thumbnails. That's what makes this amazing. Minimal effort and high quality. I want to change the background. I can do that anytime I want. So alright, step 4. We are going to get our character in here. Go to novaskin.com, and a lot of people like using this, and you can use this, play around with it, and yeah, fiddle around with it and make it look really cool. But what I like to do is go to wallpapers, then scroll down a bit, and over here we have tons of really cool images. Say I want this one. So here's just the regular Steve skin in the Skywars background. Okay, I just click here on that square and type in my username, totally not Aaron, and click on player. Wait a few seconds. Okay, so just scroll down, don't click anything on the image, scroll down, pick the highest resolution as you can because that will look the best. And now here we have our image. Click download. Your image is downloading. Go back to your Photoshop, go to your downloads tab, and just drag the image over. So now we have this image on here. Just hit enter once so it's those things disappear, and zoom in a bit. Alright, what we want to do now is right here there is our selection tool or lasso tool, and what we want to have is this polygonal lasso tool. So what this allows us to do is to click on the edges of our character and cut it out completely. Right click and click on layer via copy and just make this layer invisible. Now I'm going to make this one invisible as well because that'll be easier for me to work with, because I want to cut out just some tiny pieces more. Like here, it's from the background, I want it gone. Just do the same thing. Go over it. It really doesn't need to be all that much. Like, it doesn't need to be that accurate. You select it, and to delete it, just hit delete. It's that simple. If we now hit Ctrl T, we can move around our character. And that's not pretty. So what I'm gonna do is just cut out this area from above here, and then copy it, paste it, then Ctrl T. Now we can move this around, and just by playing around a bit, fiddling around with it, let's put it here, and let's put another one of these. Ctrl T, put it over here. So what we're doing now, we are going to click on these. Because we added some pictures to it, we will make them all into one layer. So where is this? There it is. Merge layers. So all three of those layers are now one. Now that all of these three images are one layer, we can click on outer glow to add a border. So if we now press Ctrl T, we can resize it again, and we can move it a bit. There we go. I want it to be a little to that side. Cool, looking great, perfect. Alright, our final step will be adding our text. But to add our text, we want new fonts. We are going to go to dafont.com, and here many very cool fonts. So this one caught my eye immediately, Star Jedi. I recommend if you're doing gaming videos, which you probably are, to pick something pretty bold. The Star Jedi, the Star Wars font, caught my eye, so we are going to install this one. Just click install, wait a second, it's done. Back at our thumbnail, we can just hit T, select an area to write in, get rid of everything that's in it, bye bye. And here on top, we can select our font. So we just downloaded the Star Jedi, there we are. And this is our episode logo, so episode, exit, yeah, that's it. So just write episode, exit out, Control T, so we can resize it, because it's way too big right now. And we'll just move it down to the corner, like right here. First thing we want to do is add a different color to it. That's a good color. That's perfect. Just click OK. And next thing we want is a drop shadow, which is very important for these. So add a drop shadow, and let's see. We don't want it to be too big because then you have stuff like this. Have like a solid drop shadow size and give it a tiny bit of distance. Alright, let's just hit OK. And now let's copy this layer. Copy, paste. Now we have a copy of this layer. Press T again, double tap, and change this to your episode number. So after playing around just a bit, I ended up with this.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for helping me out, man. That'll be $500. Wait, what?